everybody, it's me, Colton Johnson with Empty Popcorn Bucket Productions, and I just got back from seeing the 36th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is Thunderbolts. I just want to say before I fully jump into the review, go check out my TikTok and my Instagram, links in the description below, and if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, and share this video. I would deeply appreciate it. Let's jump into this review. So Thunderbolts, directed by Jake Shire, stars Florence, Pugh, Sebastian Stan, David Harbour. The list goes on. This cast is pretty stacked, and that's just not the end of it. Like, okay, my thoughts are probably everywhere because I'm still speechless because of how much this movie impacted my perspective on how you could create a superhero movie. Yes, we have movies like Ant-Man Quantumania, which is a stinker, but then we got movies like this that kind of pulls itself away from completely being a superhero movie and adding other layers to that, and then adding the superhero part to it and making something absolutely incredible. I just want to first start out with the filmmaking of this movie. So many great people who have worked on fantastic movies had a hand in this movie. The writers of the show Beef on Netflix created the script and all that. The music is the same composer that did Everything Everywhere All at Once. The list goes on. There's so many great aspects of this movie, and I just really can't fully explain those all in one piece of mind, if you will. But I'll talk about what my brain is thinking. First off, soundtrack, I would say top 5 in the MCU. I honestly listened to the soundtrack before I even saw the movie, and I wasn't going to, but I accidentally pressed it, and just the main theme alone gets me so hyped. Like, I listened to it on my morning route to work, and I was hyped for the day, and I had a fantastic day. Though I was seeing Thunderbolts later on the day, that was kind of what was getting me through the day. But soundtrack, amazing. Another fantastic thing about this movie is it feels very grounded, yet very cinematic. And the way that it isn't this over-the-top movie, but it's a movie focused on characters, story, before theatrics. And that is probably one of the strongest parts of this movie, is that focus on story and characters. We have characters like Yelena Belova, played by Florence Pugh, and she's absolutely incredible, one of the strongest parts of the movie, and the narrative is kind of centered on her a little bit. Then we have characters like U.S. Agent, which is John Walker. He is the defect Captain America. Then we have Ghost, she does incredible in this movie as well. The Red Guardian does fantastic, played by David Harbour. Obviously, Bucky, he is one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He does a fantastic job here. And then Valentina Della, I can't say it all, forgive me. Louis-Dreyfus, I'll probably tag it right here. She does fantastic, and honestly one of the stronger parts of the movie. And another fantastic point is Bob. This movie could have been called Thunderbobs, and I would have been fine with it. Just kidding. But if I had a nickel for every time they said Bob, I probably would have been able to buy myself a Coke at the movie. But yeah, that's not a bad thing. That's not a gripe or anything. It was just funny. This movie is layered in a lot of ways with emotion, drama, comedy, and pretty good action set pieces that really bring you in. The action sequences are pretty stellar. The stunt coordination of this movie is phenomenal. There's some stunts in this movie that are like freaking amazing. Another strong point is the story. I felt like I was very interested in the story throughout the entire film. And there's this point in the movie that like is a very switch point that like I was shocked. And I like when I feel that way when I see a movie, is that shocked feeling. And I feel like it ended very differently than I anticipated in the way that is really good. And I really like the way that this movie wraps itself up and ends, and it's very strong all the way through. It's very hard for me to find flaws in movies like this, and I'm not saying it's perfect, okay? But as someone who loves movies, I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is the best Marvel movie after Avengers Endgame. And I might put this on the table. I think it might be better than Avengers Endgame. I might need to rewatch that to actually see that verdict. But like from a movie standpoint, this movie does a lot of things when it comes to characters, story, writing, visuals that outweigh anything that Endgame does. Though Endgame is this big cameo-filled movie with a lot of crowd-pleasing moments, this movie is filled with heart, and it is really impactful. So I work in a very much mental health adjacent field, and so I'm surrounded by a lot of mental health related situations, if you will, and I have been impacted by mental health in a lot of ways in my life, dealing with anxiety and just other mental health issues. Sometimes I struggle with self-esteem, and there's a lot of things in this movie that really spoke to me and really caught my attention, because these are things that are not really explained in movies like this, like Marvel movies. And so to see that perspective and see that speaking to me in that way made a huge impact. And I'm sure it will make a big impact as well to you if that's something that might speak to you. I could joke and say that this was the therapy Avengers, and I mean, kind of is, and that's probably one of the strongest parts of this movie. Is it's very character driven, but it really dives into topics that not a lot of Marvel movies really dive into. And I think that was really important and really needed, and a good reason to go check it out. So, where do my thoughts lie? I don't know. Like, I need to rewatch this. There's not a lot of Marvel movies since maybe Guardians 3 that I have that full desire to actually go and rewatch it. I mean, I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine again because I thought that would have been fun. But this movie was one of the strongest Marvel movies that I've seen. But it's also a fantastic movie and up there in one of the best movies of the year. So if you want to have a good weekend, go check this movie out. And tell me, if you have seen this movie, what do you think? Or if you are, let me know if you're excited to see it. But thank you so much for watching. I will be creating, or my Marvel Rewatch series will be continuing with Phase 5 starting next week, since I've watched all of the movies of Phase 5. So I will be doing that. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I love creating these videos. It's one of my favorite things to do. And it would be a big help if you liked, subscribed, and please share my videos. It would be a big help. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Bye. Oh, you're still here. You're probably anticipating a after credits since it's a Marvel video related thing. And you're probably wondering, what's my rating of this movie? Well, stay tuned for next week when I do my MCU Rewatch Phase 5. So then you'll get my rating. Or follow me on Letterboxd and then you'll find out.